to our live reflections talk, and today I have property gurus Amanda Woodward and Leroy Slava with me, and they are also our summit speakers for the upcoming summit, which will be taking place from the 22nd to the 23rd of August. So Amanda and Leroy, if you can just say hi to everyone.
Hi guys.
Hi Candice, hi Amanda. Hi guys, how's everyone doing?
Great stuff. So it's so good to have the both of you with me today. So I think just before we get started, once again, I just want to make sure that we are connected with everyone as far as our watch parties are concerned. So just give me a few moments just to get that sorted out. But I think whilst
ladies and gentlemen.
So I think whilst we're getting that sorted out, if the two of you can just tell me how you're doing. So how's the UK, Amanda?
Look, the UK property market pretty much grinded to a halt, during the coronavirus. The estate agents closed and the solicitors closed and literally everything grinded to a halt. But we are now starting to resume to a little bit of normality. I know in South Africa that's not quite the case. The UK is slowly starting to resume to a little bit of more normality, and the property market is quite interesting because a lot of us were trying to work out what's going to happen post-COVID. Are we going to see a huge kind of crash? Are we going to see maybe a little bit of pent-up demand? But what we have seen is that the market has seemed to come back with a bit of a boom. Agents are busy, people are buying. I think probably it is a little bit pent up and people have been sort of sitting on their cash, so to speak, and now the government's put a few incentives together to create a bit of an artificial boom, so to speak. But it's good, we can't complain in terms of the marketplace on the back of where we've been for the last few months. I mean, Leroy, in South Africa, are you still completely closed from a market perspective?
So I think we're on level 3. So what's happening here is that sales are similar to you guys. Sales are also booming, eh?
Yeah.
On this side, with properties under 1.8 million, under 2 million. So what's happened was the banks gave a lot of people payment holidays.
Yes.
On their bonds and stuff for 3 months, 4 months payment holidays. But that's coming to an end, I think, this month.
Right.
So I think 2 things are going to happen. Because with the restaurants, businesses closing, people getting short paid and all of that, I think what's going to happen in the next few months is a lot of those people are going to have to sell and those properties are going to come onto the market in the next couple of months. But what we also found now with interest rates being dropped with a few percent in the last few months, we found that it has boomed. Estate agents are busy. People are buying properties, eh?
Yeah.
Some of the agencies have said they've had their best months ever. Now I was like, wow, whoa.
Yeah.
So people are buying. They're buying the below 1.5 million properties. But I think towards the end of the year, a lot of these, what do we call it? Let's say motivated sellers.
Sure.
Will come up and I think there'll be, sad thing is, a lot of them will have to sell, but there'll also be opportunities for investors to come in and help them.
Sure.
And help them through those situations.
I would agree with that. I think a lot of our students have been contacting us saying, I've been looking at this deal. What do you think? And I've actually sort of not discouraged, but said, hold on a moment. We don't need to chase the deals right now just because everybody is buying. Yeah. I'm not sure how your market cycles work in South Africa, but from a UK perspective, we always find that as we go into the winter season, particularly coming up to the end of the year, people who've had their property on the market, let's say from the beginning of the year, hoping to sell, Corona came along, they get to the end of the year and think, I'm done, let's just get this thing sold. And we start to see more deals coming out of the woodwork towards the end of the year. And there are going to be, unfortunately, people are going to hit, I think, quite a difficult time. I think it's quite scary. I don't think, just because we're out of, well, you guys aren't yet, but just because we're out of, let's say, the worst of it, so to speak, the commercial effect could last months, if not years, let's be honest. So I've said, look, let's slow down, let's assess. And I think there's certainly a strategy to come on the back of this that's not yet really arrived.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think that's true. I think people are, and because it's been difficult times, everyone's coming out. Now's the time to buy. You buy in a recession. Everyone's just coming and buying and like it seems like they feel they're gonna miss out if they don't buy right now. And I think you're right to say that. Wait, see, analyze the deal. If the numbers don't work, don't just get excited and buy because everyone's buying right now. So I also think if we hold out for a few more months, we're gonna see some nice deals come in.
Yeah, and I think at the moment it's a little bit of a good time if you are looking to sell something. So if you have a portfolio where you're looking to maybe sell 1 or 2 assets, there's a lot of possibly uneducated investors out there that are looking to just jump in. You know, if you are looking to sell, I've got some students who have actually developed flats and they're selling the flats and they're flying out the door. So I think, like anything, it's what strategy are you using based on the current climate to your advantage? So maybe now's the time to sell because the buyers are really excited, and to maybe, you know, keep the powder dry, so to speak, until some deals come along. And I think a lot of the deals are going to be commercial.
Yes.
Okay, you two, just to interrupt.
Yeah, I was going to jump in.
So I can hear my property gurus on a roll. Eh? So just want to talk all things property. But awesome. Thanks for just sharing your insights and your thoughts. But I think let's just welcome and acknowledge some people who've joined us online. So I just want to say hello, Leonore. Thank you for joining us. Harp also sends a greetings to all of us. Thank you, Harp, for joining. I also see Sean and Charlton and Shirl and Muketsi. All of you have joined us, and I see more people coming online. So thanks everyone for joining us today. We're very excited once again to be having our live reflections talk. And as I said earlier on today, we are interviewing property gurus, Amanda and Leroy, and both of them have been investing in property for a number of years now. Amanda is from the UK. She's currently based in the UK. And I think maybe just to share a little bit and give you a little bit of context of who she is. So she is a property investor. She started her journey in her early 20s, and she was still in a corporate role at the time. But before, Amanda had aspirations to become financially independent before she reached 30, and that became a reality for her. So before the age of 30, Amanda was financially independent through property. Nice. And she then decided to pursue her own business ventures and investing in the areas of property. And last year, she actually launched her first hotel in the UK, and very exciting and well done for that, Amanda. And we've just had a brief chat around that, but I'll ask her just to share a little bit more, you know, just in terms of who she is and what she's currently focusing on. And then, of course, as you also know, Amanda is also one of our upcoming summit speakers for our upcoming SME Global Virtual event, which will be taking place from the 22nd and the 23rd of August. And of course, I thought it would be a good place to also just introduce both of them to our SME women community, and of course, all the other followers and listeners that we have joining us today. So thanks once again, Amanda. Thank you for joining me today.
Pleasure. So
Awesome.
a little bit of you want to give the background now or a little bit later?
So let's just move into Leroy, and then we'll talk about your current journey. And then we also have Leroy Slava with us, and I'm sure some of you also know him as part of our SME women community. And Leroy Slava also started his property journey and business journey in his early 20s. And of course, today he has also pursued full focus and attention in the areas of property. He started with the small buy-to-let, and he's now evolved into developments. And in fact, he's also recently completed a residential development within the Ekurhuleni area. So well done to you, Leroy, as well, for, you know, starting with the small deal, with no deal, moving into the smaller deals, and then of course now also having your own residential buildings in place. So congratulations and well done on that.
Thank you, Candice.
Awesome. And then he's also the co-founder of Property Pick. So for those of you who don't know, he and I also share business interests. So we are both also co-founders of the Property Pick business. But I'll get the two of them just to tell you a little bit more about themselves. But I just want to mention up front, ladies and gentlemen, I see more people have joined. Kelsley, Clinton, Chardonnay, thanks for joining. Remember, share this conversation on your pages. Invite as many people as possible to join us now. I really believe that it's going to be a good talk with both Amanda and Leroy so that we can really understand what's happening within the various property markets as far as the UK and South Africa is concerned, but also just to hear and learn more about, you know, what they are currently working on and some of the tips that they have for property investors out there, and of course for aspiring property investors. So thanks everyone for joining us. If you do have any questions or comments, please put them in the chat box, and then I'll make sure that before the end of this conversation, I'll make sure that we address all of those questions and comments that you will be leaving with us. So awesome. So Amanda, let's get started with you. So I think just tell us a little bit more about Amanda, the woman, Amanda, the entrepreneur, the investor. You know, just tell us who you are and when you started your journey and why you got started.
Brilliant. Well, thank you. Thank you for the introduction, Candice. So I think, like many people that may have been listening, we all start our lives, you know, through sort of an educational system of some description, and then have a desire for a career, and then, you know, where you want to go. And I started life as in a travel company. And I travelled extensively around the world with my job, and I really enjoyed what I did. And I didn't go to university. I started in employment very early age, around about 17 years old. And I loved what I did for a period of time. And I travelled lots. I got a lot of experience. And then a very, very good friend, a good mentor, and now business partner of mine said to me, have you read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad? I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never heard of this book. He said, you must read this book. It will change the way that you think about money. Yes, you're on this kind of career path and you love your job, but just have a think about that. So I didn't read it. As most, you know, I'll pick it up at some point. And then he kept saying, have you read the book? Have you read the book? So I said, you know, I'll just read the book just to, you know, to pacify. And it was on reading that first Rich Dad Poor Dad book that it started to change the way that I think about money. And I'm sure Candice and Leon, you've probably read that book as well. And it certainly expands your mind. So yes, whilst I was focused on my career and I really did enjoy my job, I started to think differently. I started to think about passive income, and I started to think about assets, and I've never thought about stuff like that before. That book then led me down a road, and I attended a seminar. I then paid for a number of different property educational trainings and products and so on, and I took myself from the employee mentality to a sophisticated and educated business owner and property investor mentality. And I didn't have anyone around me in my network at the time, and Candice has put together, you know, a great network of people that are interested in being an entrepreneur, or maybe you're already an entrepreneur. And I think that's great to have that network around you, because, you know, that old phrase, you don't know what you don't know, you don't know what's out there to experience. So I think, as Candy said at the summit, you're going to meet a number of different speakers that have all had success in a variety of different industries in life. And myself, along with Candice and Leroy, have had success in the property investing sector. And it's something that I really, really enjoy. I love property. I'm passionate about, you know, buying and developing and renting houses. So the travel agency days are behind me. A period of time that I loved but have now moved on. And 2020, we're celebrating 10 years, which has flown by, of investing in UK property. And myself, my partner and a very good friend of mine in 2020 have launched a company to help other people around the globe go from sort of starting off with no knowledge of property investing through to being able to invest in the UK market. So that's kind of like a sort of a 10-year celebration, I guess, of this is what we've achieved and how can we then push that out to the marketplace to help other people other people achieve it. So that's probably the whistle stop tour of the last 10 years, Candice. But we live in the UK. We've primarily invested in the UK. We do have a property overseas, but the UK market is very strong. I'm sure we'll talk about that at some point on this call. So we focused our efforts here, and we encourage investors, a lot of investors sort of from Hong Kong and Singapore, parts of Africa, Europe, that whilst there's opportunities locally for them as well, there's also opportunities a little further afield in the UK, and we help investors to take advantage of those opportunities effectively. So yeah, I hope that was useful.
Yes, that's very useful, and that's awesome. I mean, just how your journey started out, and it's amazing that you mentioned the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Amanda, because I think for a lot of us, that's really where our journey started. I mean, if I go back to the start of my journey, it was really after reading the book Rich Dad Poor Dad that I realized that there's an opportunity to generate healthy income through property if you know how to do it the right way. And of course, the other interesting thing that you also mentioned is the education that you had to pursue in the beginning of your journey, and see where you are today, completely independent from the workplace, and you are pursuing your own passions and your own goals at this stage. So that's really awesome. So for those of you who don't know the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, the author is Robert Kiyosaki. It's an amazing book. In fact, I would encourage everyone to read the book. And I know that Leroy will also be sharing a little bit about the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. But I think just before we get into the next part of our talk for today, Leroy, if you can also just introduce yourself to the audience. So just tell us who you are, what you're doing at the moment, and what your main focus is.
Okay, thanks Candice, thanks Amanda. Leroy Slava. I'm the husband of one wife. I've got a little girl, Hope. She's 20 months, she's busy. For those of you that don't know, Candice is actually my sister. We're actually brother and sister, Candice, right? Okay. So Candice is my older sister. And I started out, I think I was 26 or 27. Now, I was a bit naughty. I wasn't always this sweet and handsome guy that you're seeing right here now. I was actually a drug addict for about 10 years. And then finally gave my life to God. I think it was, Amanda, this year's 10 years for me as well. In June was 10 years since I've been clean and free from drugs and stuff. So 10 years. And anyway, went from there, got saved, started. Then we had, with my mother and I, we had a cleaning company. And I always had this, that people are buying properties for cheap at sheriff's auctions. I don't know if you guys have sheriff auctions in the UK.
Share of, did you say?
Sale and execution. Where you...
Of auctions, yeah, for buying property, absolutely, yeah.
So anyway, I went to the auction and bought the first property, and I realized that I bought the wrong property back then. So no education, no knowledge, just excited. And I bought the wrong property, sold it a few months later, went back and I bought the wrong property again twice. So I think I'm the only person in the world that has bought the wrong property twice. So guys, if you're gonna come to the summit just to hear how not to do it, then this is gonna be good for you. so I can tell you and show you how not to do it. So I bought the wrong property twice, and then I realized, listen, I need education and I need knowledge. And Candice found, where did you find? You found a seminar online somewhere.
Yes, I found it online.
Seminar.
Yes.
And when we got to the seminar, back then I didn't know, but Harp was also there.
Right.
So Harp was at the seminar. It was Nick Finley, Amanda, it was Harp, and a few other people. I'm not exactly sure who all of them were. And we went on the course, learned about property, got a coach, and that's when it took off and started doing no money down deals, buying better properties at auctions, multi-lets, buy-to-lets, to eventually now doing bigger developments and bigger inner city properties. So that's me. So what I focus on inner city buildings. Okay. Buy the buildings, convert them, and rent them out.
Awesome. So thanks, Leroy. Thanks for sharing that. And Leroy's quite right. Yes, so we are related as well. We're brother and sister. And in fact, we are network here. So even Amanda, so we met Amanda through Harp. Harp is the lady that Leroy was referring to in his talk. And like he said, you know, it was many years back. It was, in fact, it was in early 2014. After I read the book, I actually went online and I wanted to learn more about Rich Dad education. And I wanted to learn more about, you know, where to get the right type of property knowledge, because of course, one had already started buying properties and you made some mistakes. I also wanted to learn how to do it the right way and how to use property as a vehicle to generate some healthy profit income. So I did some online research, came across a property course, which was also introduced into the South African market via the UK market through Rich Dad Education. And we attended the seminar. I got Leroy to join me on that particular seminar. It was a free workshop. And yes, Leroy's right. So there were a few familiar faces. Now we remember them, but of course at the time they were all new to us. And it's just amazing, ladies and gentlemen, how this network has grown over the last couple of years. And, you know, to the point where we are able to collaborate, you know, on other initiatives and other ventures as far as our businesses and our property investing is concerned. So yes, we were introduced to, or I was introduced to Amanda through Harp, and Harp has really played a strategic role in a lot of our speaking careers as far as the SA market is concerned. Because for those of you who know us quite well, you know, Leroy and I also became speakers for Rich Dad Education. And with Amanda, and she's just been focusing on a more global market, including the UK, where we've really been helping people over the last couple of years to get started in property, you know, by investing in their local markets, by investing in international markets such as the UK market, and really showing them that there is a different way of actually investing and generating healthy income on some of your investments. So yes, and here we are today, and we're having this collaboration. So it's really exciting, you know, to have started this journey. And I must say in the beginning, you know, Leroy was a lot more, what's the word, Leroy? You know, I was busy checking out the scene in the beginning. Is this really going to help?
Overanalyzing, and I was...
Yeah. So that's me, you know, I got us there, but then when we had to take the next step, I just needed to make sure that we're getting ourselves into the right, you know, situation. And of course, I haven't looked back then. And, you know, it's also good to, you know, sometimes have two different personalities, and together we can move forward. But great stuff, and it's good to have you both with us. And Amanda, you mentioned that things have started picking up in the UK markets. I know your talk specifically on the summit will be, of course, you're going to be sharing some of your own experiences, but I know you're going to be mostly focusing on how international investors are able to invest in UK property in the UK market and earn a healthy pound currency from their properties in the UK market. So can you maybe just tell us a little bit more about the particular opportunity that is available to international investors, and how potentially your company, which is Sam Wood and Harp and Associates, can play a role in helping international investors get started in the UK market? Because when you think about it, as an international investors, and for example, myself sitting here in South Africa, yes, it sounds very exciting to say that we can potentially earn in, you know, earn in pounds and enjoy it in rands here in the SA market. But, you know, how would someone from me residing here in the SA have the opportunity to get started in investing in the UK? So if you can maybe just tell us a bit about your topic and how you plan to help international investors get started.
Sure. Well, I remember one of my visits to South Africa many years ago, and we spent quite a bit of time in Cape Town, and we were enjoying the wine and we were enjoying the food. And I remember getting the bill at the end, and I was actually with Harp on this very trip. And I said, Harp, I think they've got the bill wrong. She said, no, that's the price. And I said, we've had this amazing food and this amazing drink. She said, yeah, it's great. So that's when I thought to myself, okay, there's something here. Okay, if we can earn some, what at the time was strong pound, now, you know, the UK is going through all sorts of crazy political changes, and then live in local currency, I think there's a strategy here. But we work with investors all around the globe. So whether it be Australia and New Zealand, through to Hong Kong, Singapore, China. We have some clients in South Africa. We have an amazing client who's in Namibia, who is actually a safari guide, although his business is a little bit quiet at the moment. And he's out there doing what he is passionate about and what he loves, being out in the bush. And then what he's doing is he's using his income to invest into UK property. So we have clients in South Africa all through Europe. So what we find is that now some of the people watching this and some of the people that may be at the summit may have never even considered investing in property, never mind investing in property in the UK. So it can be quite a big just mindset shift initially to do something so far away from home. We've bought properties far away from home as well, and run into challenges, whether it would be understanding how the local tax works, understanding how sort of the mortgages work and so on. So there is a lot of moving parts. So what we try to look at is, let's speak to the investor and let's see what they want to achieve. So we might have somebody in South Africa, for example, that says, okay, I've got this pot of money and I'm considering investing into the UK market. And that's about as far as their knowledge takes them in terms of, I'm interested in property. Sometimes they already have a local property portfolio in their local location, or maybe they just have a desire to get into property. And what they effectively want to do is to park their funds in the UK market. So investing in the UK, I mean, in South Africa, it's bonds. In the UK, it's mortgages, but things probably aren't as different as one might think. But what we're doing in the UK is we're investing for cash flow. Okay. And when we use the term cash flow, now there are strategies where you can invest into a building which doesn't necessarily make a lot of money each month, but grows in value really quickly. Or sometimes, like in Australia, people invest in property just because it's a good strategy to have the money in property rather than anywhere else, and there's some tax gains for that. But predominantly in the UK, we're investing for every single month. Once we've paid the mortgage, if there is one, once we've paid the bills, once we've covered all of the cost, what's left at the bottom, and we call that our cash flow. And effectively, what investors are looking to do all around the globe is, how many of these little houses can I get in the UK? And can I get each of them to make, 200, 300, 400 pounds per month per property? And effectively, goal number one for our clients is how can we, well, goal number one is the first deal. I always say, let's get to first base first. Let's get the first deal across the line. Let's learn all the lessons along the way. But then after that, first milestone is let's try and get to a point whereby if we look at your current income through your job and we look at how many properties that would take to buy to replace that income, that's goal number one. It's not a 1 month goal. It's not even a 1 year goal. Sometimes that might take, 2 to 3 years to get to. Some do it quicker, some a little bit longer. Often depends on how much cash reserves you've got to start with. And then we can start to get to a point where there's a good amount of income coming in, which then starts to give you a little bit more choice locally in terms of whether you want to continue doing what you're doing or not, or whether you want to effectively live off the income. Now, some of our investors take that income out of the UK. Some of our investors will let that income roll up in the UK and use that to invest again. Again, when we're working with customers, it's always about, what do you want to happen? What do you want to achieve with your investments here in the UK? But as I say, first milestone is to get the first deal over the line. Second milestone is to then start to move us towards how can we match the current income through investing in property. But there's a whole bunch of challenges, and I'm sure Leroy experiences this locally in South Africa. When you don't know what you're doing, as Leroy said, the same property twice or the same person twice, it happens. We all run into so many mistakes. So what we've set up at Sandwood Harp is a different types and different levels of services. So we can say, okay, you're thinking of investing in the UK, great. Let's educate you, let's help you, let's act as a representative and support for you to make sure that you do it properly, so that you don't lose money along the way, that you buy good deals. You can go to London and buy a property quite comfortably for 2 million, not rand, pounds, if you wanted to. they're not the deals we're sort of looking at. We're starting to look at the deals which are the equivalent of 50, 60, 70,000 pounds, small, UK houses that we can buy with mortgages eventually, that we can generate cash flow from, a couple of £100 a month, a couple of £1,000 a month, depending on the deals that you're looking at, and start to generate some good pound income, as I say, which can be left locally or can be brought back to where the investors live in. And it's working well. It's working really quite well.
Yes, no, that's awesome. And Amanda, one of the things that I'm really so passionate about when it comes to entrepreneurship, and as far as our SME Women Initiative is concerned, is that I really do believe that every entrepreneur needs to pursue property as an investment strategy. Why? Because you get to secure your financial income, and at the same time, you also get to build your wealth. And I also think it's important for entrepreneurs to also start thinking about diversification. So it's also important for us to also think about investing in countries outside of our country of residence. So it's important to diversify, and it's also important to think about different ways of how you can start generating healthier profit income. And of course, in property, we refer to that income as cash flow. So really, I believe there is an opportunity for investors here in South Africa, as well as around the world, to really start getting involved in investing in properties in the UK market. And what I like about your particular model is that it sounds really like you become this one-stop full support property venture that an international investor can work with. So you help the investor to source the deal. At the same time, you also help them, to fully tenant the property. And of course, if there's any maintenance and all of the additional services that are involved. And of course, also if they need to, seek finance and all of those type of things, it sounds like there's really an opportunity for an investor to then work with your company in terms of getting started in investing in property in the UK market. So ladies and gentlemen, if you are an entrepreneur today, whether you are in a full employment role, or whether you are in a position today where you have maybe lost your job and you now have access to some capital, through your retrenchment package or whatever funds you've got access to, I think it's important to think about, yes, invest in opportunities, income generating opportunities as far as property is concerned in your local residents as well, if there's an opportunity to do that, but also think about taking some of that and also investing it in stronger markets where you are able to earn a healthier income. So thanks so much, Amanda, for sharing that and just showing, some investors here that there is an opportunity, even for investors in South Africa and other countries to get started with property investing. And of course, you've had the opportunity to work with many international investors over the last couple of years. So of course, there is an opportunity then to partner with yourself through your company and take those goals forward. But thanks for sharing that. So just think about that, ladies and gentlemen. And if you've got any questions as far as investing in the UK market is concerned at this stage, I think just remember to post that in our chat box, because now is a good time to ask Amanda some of those questions and some of those concerns. And it's a good time to mention it. Amanda, you mentioned that some people may be getting started in property, but I think it's the best time to mention it to them that whilst they're getting started in property, they should also think about that there are other opportunities to invest in property outside of just their country of residence. So I think it's a good time to have this conversation. And then Leroy, I think straight into you. So yes, brother, tell us about your focus at this moment. So of course, Property Pick is one of your focus areas at this moment. So how does Property Pick really play a role in terms of assisting investors out there, whether you are starting out in property or whether you are already a savvy investor? How can Property Pick really tell us who Property Pick is and tell us how they can play a role today in supporting property investors?
Okay. Thanks, Candice. So Property Pick is an online property platform created for investors by investors. So I was in Cape Town as well when I thought about this. We were doing the legacy events, Amanda, and I was thinking about what the challenges were for an investor. And the challenge for investor is finding the deals and finding a good team. And I phoned Candice. I said, listen, why don't we put a platform together for investors where people can load their properties on the platform, and we'll get properties on there, and investors can come and get the properties from the platform instead of driving the streets, because it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort getting these deals. So we created Property Pick, which is an online property portal where you can come to this platform, depending on what strategies, whether you want to get a buy to let, a multi-let, a commercial building, you can come to this platform, get it there, find your attorney, your builder, your bond originator, architect on the platform, and that'll help you make life easier for you to close a deal. So that's what Property Pick is. It's an online platform where you can find a team and you can find deals. And we've put some nice tools on there as well. Spreadsheets to analyze deals, some legal template documents. So that's what Property Pick is. It's an online property platform. And
awesome. Yes, continue.
No, I said on the summit, what I'll be doing is I'll be taking you through a few deals, a buy to let, a multi-let, of back-to-back auction property, take you through a development and show you basically how to invest successfully in South Africa and look at these different strategies, and also how not to do it. What I will do is I'll show you a lot of my mistakes as well, which I think will be quite good to take you through the mistakes so you don't have to go out and make all those mistakes yourself.
Awesome. Great stuff. That sounds really good. And I think that's so important. You know, we also need to learn from one another's mistakes. And remember, we said earlier on, when you get started in property, you don't necessarily have the right level of knowledge and information. So it's really easy to make those mistakes. And sometimes it ends up really costing you a lot early in your journey. I definitely experienced some losses in the beginning of my journey before I got educated. So I think that's going to be very useful. And also with regards to Property Pick, I also think that, you know, it's an amazing platform as far as introducing investors to good deals here in the South African market. We are looking to expand that, Amanda. So perhaps there is an opportunity to collaborate with yourselves as far as the UK market is concerned. And we could potentially also look and see if there's a way to introduce our South African investors, you know, to some good deals in the UK market, and they'd be able to have access to those deals also via our Property Pick platform. So I think it's also a good opportunity for us to explore as well as part of collaborating going forward. But yeah, so that's awesome. So I really think it's important, you know, ladies and gentlemen, when you get started in property, it's important to start building your team, because you're not necessarily going to be the expert in every single area as far as property is concerned. So it's really important to start building your team, start building your network. And one thing about the events that we've done over the last couple of years as part of our SME Women Initiative is really that it's an awesome opportunity to network and collaborate. And that's really where the value comes in for entrepreneurs and investors as well. So once again, we have an opportunity, you know, through our virtual platform this year. And in fact, this will be our first global virtual event that we're doing. We've had to do a global virtual event because, or in fact, a virtual event because in South Africa, we are still in a lockdown situation. So that means that all of our venues have been closed to events, you know, and all of our events have been canceled for 2020. But of course, now we have an opportunity to do this online, and we've seen a lot of successful online events being delivered, and it's working. But another awesome thing about it is that we're now able to reach a global audience. So as you can see, the speakers behind me, you can see Leroy and Amanda behind me as well. We really have 9 amazing speakers who will be participating as part of our summit, all experts, all entrepreneurs, and some of them are also very successful property investors like Leroy and Amanda that's joining me today. So it's really an opportunity for those of you who are out there who really need some support, who need some guidance, who need to understand how you can actually navigate your way forward through these difficult times. I really believe that it is an opportunity for you to join us at the Global Summit. It is a free event, so you register, it is for free. And of course, it is over 2 days, so you can listen to the talks that you are only interested in, or you can listen to all the talks that will be delivered on the weekend. You really do it from the flexibility of your home and the luxury of your home. So remember to register. And I also just want to encourage those of you who have maybe lost your jobs today and you're in a position where you don't know where to from here. you know, you don't know how to move forward. You really don't know what the opportunities are, because currently the job market isn't looking that great. I believe this is also a platform for you to tap into. So come and connect with us, both Amanda and Leroy, as well as the other speakers who will be part of this summit, will be sharing some good information with you as well. And they'll be sharing some ideas with you that will put you in a position where you have the right level of information, so that you know how you are also able to make the right investments as far as some of your capital is concerned at this stage. So don't just go into property if you haven't received the right level of exposure and information. Make sure that you first get the right knowledge, and you will get some of those learnings also through the summit. And make sure that before you make those decisions, as far as your capital is concerned, you get the right level of knowledge through the experts that will be sharing with you. So that's really a little bit just on our SME Women and the upcoming summit. I'm really very excited. I've booked myself, Amanda. So even though I am the host, I've said to myself, I'm going to be listening to every single speaker that will be delivering on the weekend, because you all have amazing topics. And I know Vangile shared with me 2 weeks ago, she said, Candice, I've done the same. I've booked myself out for the weekend, and I am going to be listening and learning from each and every other speaker that will be sharing on the summit. So really, it's an awesome opportunity, I think, for everyone to get involved. Isn't that so?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. So I think, Amanda, maybe just some last insights, or maybe just some last tips that you want to leave with entrepreneurs and investors, you know, as far as the summit is concerned and your particular topic, or maybe just this current economic climate. If there's anything that you just want to share with entrepreneurs and investors at this stage, that will be great.
Sure. I think during adversity, whichever point you are in your life, is, you know, almost the perfect time or a natural time to do something a little bit different. So we are in, you know, a global pandemic, a global, uncertain time. And I believe that if you do something different now, you will look back and say, thank goodness. Even though it felt a bit difficult, even though it felt a little bit scary when I made a step to say I'm going to focus on a new business venture, maybe it be property, maybe it's, I think you've got some wonderful speakers talking about, maybe I think becoming an author and a whole bunch of other things. I think now's the time to do something different. I think doing something different starts off maybe as a phrase we use in the UK as a bit of a side hustle. But eventually I think that becomes, you know, your plan A. So use this time whilst in lockdown to reset, come up with a new focus, work on it. Starts off as something on the side, eventually becomes your main gig. But for sure now is the time to do something different. For sure. So if it feels a little bit scary, don't worry. If it's a little bit new, don't worry. Make sure that you're in Candice's network. Make sure that you've got a bunch of people around you that know what you're doing. Make sure that you come to the summit. Listen to the different speakers, see, you know, the different things that they're doing and what we're up to, and say, you know what, I think property, I think that's going to be for me, or, you know, whatever the you're passionate about. So yeah, just a little bit of, you know, grab it, let's go for it, and see you at the summit.
Awesome. Thanks, Amanda. That's great. Thank you for sharing that. And Leroy, just some last insights or words from you to our entrepreneurs and investors?
Yeah, guys, I think like Amanda said, now's a good time to learn new skills, look at new opportunities, and create another stream of income, another 1, 2, 3 streams of income. Because what we've seen now, what the pandemic has shown us, that if you have one stream of income, you're actually in a very dangerous place. So I think come to the summit, listen to the speakers, and see what will work for you, whether it be property, whether it be some of the other speakers there. And I think from the property side is now is a good time to get into property. Everyone knows that, but I think what you need to do is you need to get the right information, get the right knowledge, know how to analyze a deal, analyze an area, because everyone knows that you can make money from property, but you can also lose money from property. So you want to make sure you do it right. So come to the summit. As I said, I'll be sharing, going through a lot of live deals, showing you buy to lets, multi-lets, flips, back to back, some creative funding strategies, how to fund these deals with or without money. So yeah. So guys, looking forward to seeing you at the summit.
Awesome. Thanks, Leroy. Thanks for sharing. And ladies and gentlemen, as you can hear, definitely 2 property gurus with us. And I really believe that if you register and you get yourself onto the summit, you will be learning some more from them. So they will be sharing some more strategies, some more opportunities with you for those of you who are wanting to get involved in the property market. And also for those of you who want to get involved in other markets such as the UK, because the UK has opened up its property market to a lot of international investors. So there are good opportunities there as well. So for sure. So thank you to the 2 of you. Thank you so much for joining. I really, really look forward to hearing your talk. So it is around the corner. In fact, it's not this weekend, it's next weekend. And I'm really excited for us to do this together. And I know that a lot of people will be able to get some good information. They'll be able to get some good ideas, and they'll also be presented with good opportunities to help them actually move their financial goals forward at this time. So I'm really looking forward to both of your talks. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Candice.
Thanks, Amanda.
Thanks.
Awesome. So let me just double check and see if we've got any questions. So more people have joined us. Thank you, Corinne. Thank you so much, Zipo, for joining. I just want to check if you've got any comments for us. So for those of you who haven't left any comments or questions, please do let us know if you've got any questions, and we would be happy to just take some of those questions at this time. But I think just one last time, whilst we're just waiting for those of you to just share some of your comments with us, I just want to mention one last time that it is a free event, so you are able to register. You will find that in our chat box today, the registration link has been included there. So as I said, you can register for the specific talks, or you can register for all of the talks, and you get the opportunity to attend all of them. So share this page, this link, with as many people as possible, and invite all your family and friends, and especially those of you who are looking for new opportunities. I do believe it is a great platform for you to tap into. And of course, those of you who also want to take your businesses from strength to strength, from success to greater success, and of course, from glory to glory, we do believe this is a great opportunity for you to come in and be inspired and equipped. So awesome. I don't see any comments. I know there is normally a little bit of a delay, but if there is a delay, ladies and gentlemen, we will make sure that we get to all of your information, all of your questions later on. What I will also make available for you in the chat box is I will also post a link of both Amanda and Leroy's website addresses as far as their businesses are concerned. So for those of you who would like to connect with them, you are able to connect with them. I will also make sure that I share 1 or 2 of their social handles with you so that you can also connect with them via social media. So which handles would you prefer for me to share, Amanda? Which platform are you more active on as far as social?
To be honest, Facebook and Instagram. So either of those, to be honest, probably Facebook a little bit more. Yeah.
Okay, great stuff. So I'll make sure that I share your Facebook handle with our audience. And then yourself, Leroy?
Facebook as well.
Great stuff. So Facebook it is. So I will then just make sure that I share all of that information with everyone. So thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I hope you got some good insights as far as our upcoming speakers are concerned for our upcoming summit. And thank you, speakers. Thank you for sharing with us today. And we really look forward to connecting with you at our SME Global Virtual Summit. Thanks again.
Thanks again.
Cheers. Bye, guys. Bye.
Okay. Keep well. Bye-bye.
Bye.